What's up, everybody? DJ Numismatics, and we're back with a penny hunt. Couldn't get any circulated or uncirculated boxes from the bank, but the place I'm staying right now said that they had a closet where somebody had a bunch of rolls of pennies. And, well, they said they had some other coins too, but it looks like they were just pretty much pennies. Now I was looking through them. There is 96, I do believe, rolls total. So we got just short of 2 boxes here. And I did notice on some of the rolls, if you look here, whoever was going through them or collecting them wrote new on some of them. So I'm not exactly sure what we're going to find in here. And then, of course, some of them are completely taped up. So maybe those are rolls of wheat cents. I'm not sure. That being said, let me get out my pen so I can make a tally just to keep track on what roll we're on. And let's get hunting. We're on roll 1 and we've already got wheat cents. The first wheat's going to be a 1947 San Francisco. Wheat cent 2, a 56 from Denver. Wheat cent 3, looks like it's in pretty nice shape. Probably a 58 from Denver. Wheat cent number 4 is going to be a 1955 from Denver. That's wheat cent number 4. Looks like we'll have a nice 63D to look for the 3/3. Right behind that, we've got wheat cent number 5, a 1948 from Philly. Right behind that, wheat cent number 6, a 1942 from Philly. Wheat cent number 7 is going to be another 1956 from Denver. We got a 1946 from Denver. Wheat cent number 8. Wheat cent number 9 is a 1940. I do believe that's a 9. 1949 from Philly. Wheat cent number 10 is a 1944 from Denver. Looks like we got another 1963D to check for the 3/3. Wheat cent number 11 is going to be, see if we can get this off of here, a painted 1946 from Denver. Wheat cent number 13 is going to be a 51 from Denver. And wheat cent number 14 is going to be a 46 from Denver. Well, I must have miscounted. There was 13 total in that first roll. If I keep finding this many per roll, I'm going to go ahead and just go through the roll, set out the finds per roll, just to save a little time. And it looks like, for the most part, I think all the other cents are copper. So, wait a minute. Oh, I take it back. I missed one here. And that's a 19, or I mixed it in with the wrong batch. 44 from Denver. So we got 14 total in the first roll. Let me go ahead and move these out of the way, and I'll move on to the next ones. I just opened up roll number 4. If you look here, it looks like this was his collection of Lincoln Bicentennials, but there was one wheat in here, and that's a 1945S. That's going to be wheat cent number 15. Alright, we're on roll number 9, and we're going to get wheat cent number 16. It's a pretty beat up 19 48 from Denver. So far, I've gotten 2, 4, 6 full rolls of nothing but copper. We are on roll 12, and we just got wheat cent number, I do believe this is 17 here, and that's a 1958 from Denver. We're on roll 14, and we got wheat cent number 18, and that's a 1944 from Denver. We're on roll 26, and we're going to get wheat cent number 19, and that's a 1952 from Denver. I have checked some of these coins for varieties. I'll bring you in at the end to show you what I found. I found some RPMs on a few different varieties, or a few different years of 60D and a few other things. So in the end, we'll do a wrap up on everything I've come across. As you can see over here, those are all copper, and they're all in really great shape. So at the end, like I said, at the end, we'll go ahead and do a wrap up on everything we found. So far, I think I've come up with 20 rolls of nothing but copper. So let me get back to the hunt, see if we can come up with some more wheat cents. We're on roll 48. I do believe that puts us about halfway through the box. And you look right here, we got wheat cent number 20. And that is a 1956 from Denver. And just a heads up, I've only came out of this box so far with 6.5 total rolls of zinc, so a lot of copper. We are on roll 52, and we got a 1951 from Denver, wheat cent number 21. Same roll, wheat cent number 12, or 22 is a 50D. We are on roll 77, and we're going to get wheat cent number 23, and that is a 1949 San Francisco. We are on roll 78. As you can see up here, those are all coins with varieties on them. They are RPM coins, 60s, 61s. I think there's a 59 up there too. I'm not going to take the time at the end. I'll show them to you at the end. I'm not going to take the time right now to look up the actual designations because the 60s and 61s have a ton. And I'll be honest with you, this hunt has been exhausting. But back to the roll, we got wheat cent number 24, and that's a 53D. Looks like it's still in pretty decent shape. And if you look back here, we got a possible old one. It looks pretty circulated here. So this will be wheat cent number 25. And it is going to be it's just heavily circulated. It's a 1944. Too bad it can't be steel. All right, let me go ahead and finish up this roll. See if we get any more in here. Well, it is official. The 96 rolls of customer wrap rolls have been hunted. Let me look right here. We'll start with this. 9 rolls and a handful. Not even quite a handful. I think there's 8 there that I didn't get into rolls of zincs. So that gives us a total of 87 rolls of full copper cents. Let me go ahead and clear these out of the way. And I think what we'll do is I'll just show you just a handful of the nicer shaped copper Lincolns that I found. I'll be right back. All right, this is just a very small amount that I pulled aside. These ones are the main ones that I pulled out just to check against some stuff. They're the ones that don't have a lot of fingerprints on them, or finger tarnish, I should say. And there's various years, 62, all the way from 50, I think 60, up to 75 or 6. And this is about a quarter of the amount that I actually found of decent Lincolns in there. A lot of them had great strikes, but were in the red, brown, or brown. But there was quite a few that were borderline full red. And these ones here, like I said, I pulled out are mostly all full red. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap these up, and then I'm going to move over to all the S minted non-wheat scents that I found. And there was a lot. As you can see, there was quite a few. I think there was a 68S. I think I might have accidentally threw it in with the 69s. So there was actually 52 69S's that I could check for varieties. I didn't see any of the DDOs, but there was some pretty cool machine doubled ones in there. Doesn't add any value, but they were pretty cool looking. Kind of threw me off for a minute there. Shockingly, there was 117 70S's. I didn't see any of the small dates, but the large date is the one you want to look for the DDO. There are a few in there that I'll probably go back over after a while, like at another date when I get bored and not be able to find any other coins that do look like some of the lesser varieties of the DDOs on those. So I'll roll those all up and maybe look through them again at a later date. And then we got 10 72S's and a couple 71S's. No 73s, 74s is which I usually come across, but of course these were customer wrap rolls. I think what probably happened is he was probably bought a roll of, because a lot of these were the 70s and the 69s both. I did find a lot of the BU quality coins in there, as you can see this top one right here. Well, other than the few environmental spots on it, was in really, really nice shape. So let me go ahead, get these rolled up, and we'll move on to a wrap up on the very few wheats that we got. I was kind of shocked that first roll had 13 in it. I thought maybe we were going to score big, but 25 wheats altogether. Let me put these away, pull those out, and then we'll move on to the few varieties that I found. Well, I got the wheats laid out, and nothing too old, but hey, we did get 14 from the 40s, including the 3 S's. I think there was a 46, a 47, and a 49S in there. It's always fun finding an S-minted wheat cents. And then 11 from the 50s. I did check them all for RPMs and DDOs. I think there was only a few to check for DDOs, but there were some for the overmint marks also. Didn't find none of those, so let me get these wrapped up, and we'll cover the few varieties and do a wrap up. See you in a second. Okay, I got the varieties set out. Bear with me here, I may have pulled some that weren't varieties, so we'll just kind of go over them. This one here is a 66, and 1966 has a really nice double die, or DDR I should say. This one has a DDR, but it's not the DDR. It's just extremely machine doubled, and it looks pretty cool. I may keep it. I did get 11 60Ds. I think some are small and some are large date, but most of them are RPMs. I believe I pulled their RPMs. Hopefully I didn't mix them all up. And then I got 7 possible 61Ds. Like I said, we'll go through them with the scope, and I'll point them out. I'm pretty good at pointing out the RPMs on them. I found quite a few of them. Like I said, I'm not going to go ahead and list them because there's so many 60 and 61 listings that it would take me forever. And this hunt's already taken me almost 2 days. So, and then I found a 69D that does have the FS 901 missing initials, designer initials on the back. Plus, it's got the floating roof. And then I also came across what was this one again? A 1963D that has RPM on it. It isn't the DDO, but all right, let's go ahead and start. We'll start with this 59D first. Excuse me. So if you look here on the 59D, it's not the FS. which on the FS, you'd have a big chunk of the D down here. This is one of the lesser varieties. And if you look right here, this little notch here, and this notch down here, I do believe this is the counterclockwise DDR, or RPM, sorry. It's like I said, it's a lesser variety, but it was pretty cool finding it. All right, let's move on to the 60s. I know I said 60s. Well, let's jump to that 66 that I told you about there. If you look at the back of this thing, you could see machine doubling all along United. And then part of states there. You see the machine. This is one thing you want to look out for. These are machine doubled and not the authentic doubled. I do believe, maybe I'm wrong, but I think these are just machine doubled. You can see it all throughout a lot of the devices on the back here. Along the bottom of the M, the E, the R, the C there, and the A. And then if you come down here into 1 cent, you can see it along top of the T. You can see it alongside the E, N. Really prevalent on the C there. Oh, let me zoom out just a hair. And, of course, along 1 cent as well. Pretty interesting find. Oh, yeah, and along the side of the building here, too. If you notice, it's completely doubled. I think this is either from reworking the die or it's smacking the die twice. I'm not exactly positive, but I know it isn't a valuable double die. All right, now let's move on to the 60 DRPMs. Okay, for the first one, like I said, there are so many different listings on these things. I've got a few of them actually listed on eBay. If you look at this one here, let me see if I can zoom in for you guys. All right, there we go. And what you're looking for here is you can see that little notch here and then the notch down here on the bottom. That is just like the 59D. It's I do believe this is one of the counterclockwise. And then if you look inside the D there, you could also see a slight crossbar in there. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but I can see it here on this laptop. Pretty prevalent. All right, let me grab the next one. This one is another 60D, and this one, if you look inside the D there, let me see if we can zoom it in, get it a little bit closer for you guys. You can see the second crossbar in the back there. Another RPM. Like I said, I think there's 170. I want to say maybe not that many. I think there's 120, I do believe, RPMs for 1960 between the large and small dates. So this isn't a major one. I'll probably keep it and put it aside. Like I said, I've got quite a few of these on eBay right now. So, all right, I scanned through a couple of them. I must have mixed in a couple that weren't actual RPMs. So I was thinking maybe they might be the deal or date over date. So I pulled them out. I looked a little closer in the dark here. This is a definitely RPM though. You can see the notching, same with those other ones right down here. It does have a little bit of different characteristics. And I tell you what, looking through these and trying to match them up is quite a task. I do most of my matching on Variety Vista there. That's probably the best site for looking that up. All right, let's move on to the next one. That one would be the third of the 60Ds. All right, we're on this will be the number 4th one. And after this, we only got one more. I eliminated a couple other ones. I think I was just thinking maybe they were the small over large date, and I had to do some research on them later and forgot all about that. I put them aside. So this one is definitely an RPM. And you're saying, oh, it's just damage. But if you look there on the D and you zoom in right here, that notch right there to the right of the D, you can kind of see it up top there too, and then on the bottom here is actually remnants, and then you can kind of make out the crossbar inside the D there. Those are remnants of another RPM. All right, one more to go. We'll see if it's an RPM or not. And the 5th one is most definitely an RPM, and it's on a large date. If you zoom in, well, you can see on the D there the notching on the top and the bottom. Let me go ahead and zoom in for you a little closer. and you can see it. If I can get the camera glare out of there, right there on the top, the notch, and then right down here on the bottom, the little notch. They're not major varieties, but they're fun to find when you find them, especially on what I just searched, somebody's most likely collection / reject dumped, and they missed these kind of varieties. So let me go ahead and move on to the 61Ds. All right, for the first 61D, it is definitely a RPM. It isn't there is an FS designation for the RPM, and I do have one of those on sale on eBay, so I know which one it is. This is not it. This one, if you look at the D, let me zoom in for you guys. Right there on the bottom, you can see the D coming out, and you can also see inside the center of the D, the remnants of the other D also. I don't know if they actually try to polish these off or fill them in and polish them off after they've noticed that they've made them, and that's how they're missing the rest of the D. Kind of interesting though. This is RPM, the first RPM that I found in the 61D. I'm not going to list it as RPM blah 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 because, like I said, I haven't taken the time to go back and properly identify which ones these are. But I do know that one is an RPM because I've looked at it before. All right, let's move on to the next one. For the next one, it's a pretty minor one. And if you look, let me zoom in for you guys. Down here on the bottom, you can see that little notch. And then if you look inside the center of the D there, you can see the crossbar of the, I shouldn't say crossbar, down, what do they call that? A down bar? I'm not sure what they exactly call that. But and then if you look towards the back, you can also see part of it back there too. This is actually one of the nicer varieties of 61Ds, RPMs. All right, let's move on to the next one. This one here, I do believe, is one of the ones that is towards the west. And if you look at the D there, you can see top and bottom, just like the 60s. A lot of them are similar because they're only a year apart. I suppose the same mint worker might have even punched them. You look on the bottom there, you can see the notch. And you look on the top there, you can see the notch up top there too. Another RPM found. And we got 3 more to check and see if we got a couple more. Well, I took a closer look at a couple of the other ones, and I think they may have been just damaged. I could go back and double check, but in the shape they were, they wouldn't be much of any kind of value. This one is a 61D, and a lot like the other one. As you can see the notch on the bottom there. Let me zoom it in for you guys. The notch, right there on the bottom, and then of course the crossbar or down bar, whatever they call it, that runs through the center there. So we got 5 from the 60s RPMs and 4 from 61 RPMs. Okay, last but not least, I looked at that 63D, and I'm not 100% positive. I could show you real quick what I was looking at. Like I said, I didn't go back and check any of these. But if you look at it, I don't know if that's machine doubling. And I think I've seen one that has that. I can't officially say that that's an RPM or not. When I zoom in close, I'm not certain. I don't have any kind of cleaner with me right now to clean out the center of that D to see if that's just gunk or if that's actually part of a RPM there. Like I said, I didn't go back and research a lot of these. I do know quite a few of the different shapes and designs of these RPMs though, so I know when I've got them. This one here, like I said, I can't confirm or deny if that is an RPM or not. Maybe later on we'll do another video and I'll go back and actually list the actual DDO designations on, or RPM designations on these. All right, so that being said, last but not least is this 1969 D Lincoln Week set. It's in pretty good shape. That's the only reason I kept it, because I did find quite a few of these. When they first came out, the missing initial designation back here were pretty valuable, but they've been found quite a bit. And as you look right there, it is missing the designer's initials. This is an FS designation, FS 901. Now this one here is also known for, if you look up here, the floating roof. And it's in, like I said, pretty good shape. There is some light environmental damage on the back, but it's in probably a good red-brown condition. If you look there, it is floating. And then down here, you got the missing initials. So let me turn the lights on real quick before we go dark, and I'll be right back. So all in all, not too bad of a hunt. I know we started with a lot more RPMs, but like I said, after I looked at them, I think I had probably accidentally threw them in with the wrong assumption behind them. So all in all, it did pretty good. 59, 5 from the 60s, 4 from 61. We got that crazy machine double 66, and the 69 FS 901. Not a bad hunt all in all. I actually didn't have to pay for these coins. They were pretty much donated to me just for video wise and hunt. And then after I started the video, they said, I'll just keep them. We appreciate you. And I thought that was cool. So basically what I'm going to do is I usually don't keep my coppers, but since I re-rolled all these rolls, I'm going to put them up and put them away for my kids. And hopefully someday they get into coin collecting as well. So like I said, I'll do the research on these varieties. Some of these might make it onto eBay, but I'm going to have to make sure that I have the right RPM designations for those. So I'll post a link up here for my eBay page. Check it out. You might need something I got, and I wouldn't mind passing it on to you. So until next time, everybody, hopefully you guys are not being short on coins. And if you are, you come across some kind of cool collection like this. A lot of these coins that I actually went through, there are a lot of minor designations on these coins that I didn't even look for. So who knows, someday I might pull them back out because a lot of them were BU quality. So until next time, everybody, happy hunting, and thank you for watching.